Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Anuj. I'm a second year MBBS student at GMC Nagpur. Today's topic is a bit delusional because even when I'm making this video, I'm not really sure how much of what I really feel could get to you. But let's try. I'm gonna ask you one question. Why do you think the people in the army are so very punctual, and why do you think that they are the most productive people that we know? Because, well, a person in the army has a very good schedule. And what we are lacking at this point while we are being home all days is that we have absolutely run out of anything even close to a schedule. We're waking up whenever we want to, we're going to sleep whenever we want to, and probably not studying that much, personally speaking. To combat this, I dug a little deeper into how should one go about an approach making a beautiful schedule so that you could skyrocket your productivity essentially. And let's talk a bit about how I'm doing it. First of all, I decide what topics do I need to cover, not just in one day, but in an entire week. Because you should have both short-term goals and long-term goals. Let me explain to you why. Short-term goals, when you will achieve, you will get a very big sense of achievement, and that will motivate you to achieve newer goals. Hence, short-term goals should be put first and then long-term goals. So deciding a topic or deciding an entire subject which I need to study in a week. Now I need to decide what are the topics in that subject that I need to study. So let's take the basic example of microbiology. I have been studying microbiology for a week now, and since I have been studying, I have divided the entire book into different segments of importance as well as my interest, so that I intercalate those things which are really interesting to me with those which are not interesting but are important. It happens all the time. Well, you can see we can divide the entire microbiology into bacteriology, virology, immunology, general, and all of that. But here's the big mistake that we all make. We try to write a big chunk as it is. So what I'm trying to do is I'm tricking my brain into thinking that there is only a small part that you need to do. If you are going to write that I need to complete gram-negative bacterias in 3 days, then your brain will automatically start to think that it is such a huge topic and so many things are very confusing. How the hell am I going to achieve this? But if you sequentially write that I have to do Enterobacter, I have to do Vibrio, I have to do Pseudomonas, and all of those other bacteria, your brain will be immediately tricked into thinking that these are just small pieces, and then whole of those pieces come back and emerge together. This brings me to one of the things I find very interesting. There's a concept in art and philosophy which is now being applied to science, which is called as emergence. Now, if you think about it, there are small neurons firing electricity continuously in your brain. But how that electricity is being transformed into a personality such as you is something we cannot explain. And that is exactly the point of emergence. That small things that are even unnoticeable can come together and form something very complex. So I'm tricking my brain into thinking I'm doing very small bits by dividing a big chunk into extremely small things and then doing it each day for a group of days, and then I get the entire topic done. Once I've decided what the things that I have to do, I assign them a particular topic with suiting to me how many hours do I want to put into that. Because, well, obviously you're not going to get 3 hours of effort put into rat bite fever than you're going to get 6 hours of effort put into E. coli. I'm prioritizing all the things that I need to do, assigning them hours and then assigning them days. With that, I'm also grouping the things that are other than just studying, so that I could keep them all in the balance of flavor of salt and sweet. For example, I love playing the guitar, so each evening I come here and roam around with my guitar and play some strings. And I also study when I'm not doing it. Keeping yourself busy, I think, is the best way to be productive all the time. And being busy not just means that you have to always keep on turning pages and keep on reading books. It also means busy doing the activities you love the most. And if you're mixing everything, then you're getting the best mixture, and that will be the best thing that out of it. Another thing which I like to point out here is there is something called as Parkinson's law. So I think in the last century itself, A person named Cyril Parkinson, in his book, said that work expands to fill all the spaces that it has given, which basically is just a saying that you won't start studying until the deadline approaches. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you submitted your manual correctly? I don't think I ever did. So, applying Parkinson's law to what we are dealing with here, since all of this is going on, the deadlines are keeping on extending. There is no deadline as to you have to go to college and do this, you have to complete a particular topic for a particular test. There is no such of pushing force that is keeping us on tracks. And that is the reason that we are falling behind in productivity and being lazy. So, assigning ourselves the deadline is the goal of this entire thing. How do you assign yourselves deadline? Like I talked about, when I'm making these schedules, I make sure to stick to them all the time. And one of the ways that I do it is I have my schedule pinned down to whatever the place that I will be the most in that day. And most likely, that is usually my room. So instead of just having made it on my phone, I prefer to make them on paper and stick them so that I can see them repeatedly and hence have a mental impact that I have to complete this in time. There are so many things that you can do to increase your willpower, but I think it all resides right here in your conscious brain. If you want something really bad, you will work for it, and if you don't want it, there is obviously nothing that is pushing you towards it. And that is what I'm trying to do here. I'm pushing myself to completing a lot of the syllabus before the quarantine ends. And that is by assigning deadlines each day. My deadlines are pretty simple. They just state that at the end of the day, I should have done whatever I have planned, or at least 90 or 80% of it. If I have done it today, I will have the mental satisfaction know that I'm always studying at least some portion, and then I'm also completing the deadlines. Let me ask you another question. When was the last time that you woke up at 6? To be honest, I haven't even woke up at 7 in all of this quarantine. Now, it feels awkward that I'm saying this without actually following it a lot, but I'm trying really hard. Well, imperfections are everywhere. That's what makes us human. And what I'm trying to say here is that knowing what time you're the best at is one of your best skills. That means if you know that, okay, I'm productive, I'm the most productive in the morning, then why are you letting that time slip away after watching Ramayana at 9 to 10:30? Well, I am doing that personally. I don't regret it at all. But if you really want all of these extra hours incorporated into your studies, just know that what time you're productive in, and then try to achieve maximum in that particular time itself. Waking up in the morning can have several advantages, at least personally speaking, because I can get a lot of the study done in the first hour of my waking up than I can get in the entire afternoon. Because for me, an afternoon is a very unproductive hour, because after the lunch I'm all sleepy and I don't want to study anymore. But that may not be the case with you, and you might be productive afterwards. On Instagram, a few days ago, I was getting tagged into so many challenges, which I did not accept, unfortunately or fortunately, but I'm sure you were too. That brings me to my next point, that is challenging yourself. When was the last time you were really up to a challenge? A challenge is something that makes you feel you can't achieve this, that makes you feel you're not that capable. But in the end, if you do achieve it, it will give you a sense of accomplishment. By challenging yourself, you're proving to yourself that you have the power, the dedication, and the capacity to achieve whatever you have challenged yourself for. For example, 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago, I challenged myself an impossible task, and a lot of people asking me about where I find my motivation. Most of the times the answer is I give myself challenges which might feel unachievable. So I challenged myself to study entire systemic pathology in 3 days. That too from the big book. The challenge seemed impossible, and it was for me. It might not be for you. But by the end of 3 days, I had completed almost 70% of it. In the end, I did not win the challenge, but I did not lose it either. On my way of challenging myself to do a big chunk in a short period of time, the unscratchable itch inside my brain got me nerve wracking and studying extremely hard because I didn't want to lose from myself, because that is the biggest loss and the biggest failure. So, in the end, because of a simple small challenge that I had put myself up, I completed so much. And that is not a loss, that is in fact a gain. And for anybody who is feeling that they can't do this to themselves, let me challenge you. From the day that you are watching me say this sentence, you have exactly 14 days. I challenge you to tackle the hardest subject that you can find in these 14 days, word by word, page by page. And yes, this might seem impossible and this might seem unachievable, but at the end of 14 days, irrespective of if you win or you lose, you will have succeeded in ways that you can't imagine. Thank you so much for watching my video. And if this video even added a tiny bit of value to your life, please give this video a thumbs up. That means more than anything to me. And also, please subscribe to my channel, as producing these videos are also part of my time and effort. And subscribers give me that motivation to do so. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. See you soon.